So it's been about like 6 years. Well, actually, no, me and you did
man.
the podcast. And then when I kind of disappeared from the internet, I took it down. And then I looked at it the other day and we actually said some pretty greasy things. And I'm like, ew,
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
Don't know.
I haven't watched it. I remember watching it when it was new and I was cringing back then thinking, oh shit, I can't believe some of the crap we put out for the public to see.
Yeah.
Here we are.
I remember like even just how everyone was on like Facebook back in like 2014. You would just say whatever you wanted. And it's like it's shock value. And I remember like the open mics where it's like, well, I wasn't like that great, but like you would just say things for shock value. And it's like, yeah, I wouldn't really say anything. I'm having a hard time admitting it now. But yeah, where are you guys right now?
We're in Grand Forks right now. I would love to kind of watch that. I should go back and watch it and see like how much shit is on that podcast that would get me canceled today.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't think we were that bad though.
No, but what we were sympathizing with Louis C.K. So.
Oh yeah.
Maybe. I would do it.
Yeah.
Right there.
But to be honest, my dick is out right now as we're speaking. So
Yeah.
it's just what I do now, right?
And Clayton said, yeah, but it was as a joke. So then therefore it's not really. And so, yeah, therefore you can get canceled later.
Yeah, exactly.
So, they said,
You've done a lot of messed up things, Mackenzie. Don't.
Yeah.
It's not all jokes all the time.
Not together. Let's clarify.
Yeah.
You know?
So what are you guys doing in Minneapolis right now?
You know what? I've just been starving for being on the road, man. You know, we had a tour lined up before COVID hit and we were selling tickets all over. It was just a Manitoba thing. So we had like 7 shows booked. 5 of them actually sold out. I was going to headline. I was going to let him open, even though he's not funny. And then everything got canceled because of COVID, right? So I haven't been touring. I haven't been on the road. I haven't done much traveling at all. So now that the borders opened again, we're just fucking itching to go anywhere. So here we are in the hotbed of romance and adventure, Grand Forks, North Dakota, man.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I was in pilot school before COVID, and when it shut down, I was like, fuck, there's like no going back. Like the airlines are done. And then it's funny because I work as a grip machino, as they say in Montreal, so it sounds like cool, machinist, so it sounds like a real job. I don't know if you know what a grip is in cinema, but it's like a stagehand. It's like lighting support and camera support, and we do all the car rigs and stuff like that. And that's how
the people that actually work on set. Okay.
Yeah. Like, well, we do a lot of.
You one of the dudes that Christian Bale will curse out, or what?
Actually, the dude he cursed out was a DP cinematographer. So that guy is like my boss's boss. So that motherfucker. But actually, I find more recently with the Me Too stuff, actors are way more likely to curse out higher people. They wouldn't curse out like I'm pretty mid tier.
Oh yeah.
Well, see, there is something I have to warn you guys. I'm not really wanting to talk about one topic. Well, so I did go to Ottawa. I went to Ottawa during that whole thing, just kind of be unbiased. I was streaming. That's where most of my followers come from right now. So, and I posted in like just speeches that some doctors were saying, and I got hit for medical misinformation. Even after I took them down, when they were privatized, I got hit for medical. So I have 2 strikes, and if I get one more, I'm done. So I'm like,
they're going to cancel you and Joe Rogan. So we shouldn't talk about how we found out that it's true if you inject bleach. No, that's crazy.
No, and I'm like,
Mackenzie, this isn't our channel that we're worried about.
And so, no, I'm just trying to be a really good boy for like until those strikes are. But I don't know. I'm obviously on some sort of shit list, so I am myself a little afraid. But
you and Joe Rogan, man, you're on the wall. They're out to get you both.
Yeah.
Oh, Nelson got a TikTok removed the other day.
Yeah.
What'd you say? I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, what did you do?
You know what the problem was? I had this old video you probably saw a long time ago. Him and Eric Hazelhurst in bikinis dancing around. So I just shared 10 seconds of that, and I put the Trailer Park Boys saying it's greasy, and they deleted it and took it down. They said it was like offensive content for minors.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
but if you guys were attractive, and this is why I don't like TikTok, because I think it's like pedophile porn light. Because it's like when I first, I had it for like 2 days, but then I noticed it's like, why is there all these 15-year-olds in bikinis dancing? Like, why is this?
Yeah.
That was around that like cuties thing came out, and like I was so disgusted. I'm like,
did you watch the cuties? Did you watch it?
No, I didn't.
I haven't watched it either.
I watched the trailer, but you see how casting works is like to find those 10 girls, they would have gone through 500 girls.
Yeah.
So think about it. There was producers sitting there watching all these girls dance like that.
Yeah. And they're like, not hot enough. Move along.
Yeah.
But no, it's seriously sketchy. I haven't watched it. I've heard a lot of people like complain about it, and people are like, well, you haven't watched it. How can you judge it? I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
This is one thing I'm going to judge.
I don't want to get flagged and put on a list. And it's just like, and you know, I kind of had that argument with like the convoy, because people are like, oh, it's like, you know, I had a white guy here in Montreal saying like, oh, it must have been just white supremacists and Nazis. And I was like, well, I don't know. I was there. And I was like, if you check out my YouTube channel, I have a bunch of Black and Indigenous people talking about how it's like a festival of love. And for the first time ever, I use the old, well, maybe it's your white privilege that you don't understand, like, because you're just seeing the news and like, and it's people, a lot of people that said that shit were people like that back in the day were in like, they were like 30 and in a rock band being like, don't ever listen to the news, man. The news brainwashes you. Fuck big pharma. And these are the people that are wearing Pfizer shirts now and saying like, oh, you know, like, fuck it, they must be racist. Like, you guys wish you could camp out at the parliament like that. I don't know.
So your viewers are all the convoy people.
I don't, you know, a lot of people.
You're not wearing masks, so peace, brother.
Well, when you sent me that photo of Alice Cooper, you can admit if you were just lying and didn't want to do the podcast yesterday. But I was
I was legit.
But you know why I thought you were lying? Because in Quebec, we still have to wear masks everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh shit, eh?
Yeah, no, it's we have a lot of signs saying it's recommended, or like the store encourages patrons to, you know.
I thought you had to, like at the MTS Center or Canada Life Center, whatever they call it now, the Jets games, I think you had to show your vaccination card still, even though we've removed that everywhere else.
Yeah.
But I went there last night after the concert. They didn't ask me for any vaccine card, and I didn't have to wear a mask. Like, some people were, most people weren't.
Well, so when I'd be in Ottawa, people, like thousands of people being like, woo, no masks and like crowded, like shoulder to shoulder. And I come back here and to go to Canadian Tire, sometimes I just leave my phone at home because I don't want to be on it. I had to fucking go back home to go get my phone and then like have to show your ID to show that your ID to show that your vaccine is real. I'm like, this is a little much to get into Canadian Tire, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I think if I were to talk about the convoy, maybe I shouldn't because now we get flagged again. But I think most people there weren't anti.
Get yourself flagged.
It wasn't anti-vax people there. It was people like me that have gotten all three. And why the hell can't I still go to a restaurant? You know, it's like I think like in December, people hit a wall and like, well, we're doing everything, and like, why can't I go to the restaurant now? Like, you know,
I'm not looking to spread any misinformation either. But all I know, I got all the vaccines. I did everything I'm supposed to do, and everybody I know is still getting sick. Like they're still getting the COVID and shit, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I just want to. You know what it is? I don't want to be a mole person anymore. You know what I mean? I don't want to live in my house and not see anybody. I just want to go out and do shit. If I get sick, I get sick. It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, and you know,
that's my attitude.
And all these things like. I didn't like how, you know, you couldn't go to church. You guys probably aren't big church people. I'm not big church people.
I was so sad I couldn't go to church, bro. Yeah. Like we shed tears about it, man. You know?
Yeah. But like stuff like that and community-based things like open mics, and that's people's community, and you need community. And I know more people that have killed themselves than have died of COVID.
See, and that's the thing too. Like, I mean, I was very aware of that early on, like the issues regarding depression and having that loss of contact and connection with people.
Yeah.
Hey, the church thing, by the way, he was genuinely really sad he couldn't go to church because communion's like the only thing he gets to eat usually, right? Zing, had to go there. Cheap joke. I don't know.
For more bullying, go to Nelson Mayer comedian on TikTok.
It's not bullying. It's how I show love. Like, you know how often I see, like, you know, Facebook pops up with your like memories of what you posted years ago and all that shit.
Yeah.
Man, I'm willing to cancel myself almost every day for some of the stupid shit I used to think was funny.
But the 2008 to 2014 era of the internet was like, how much shocking can I be? Like, if you go back and
really, yep.
Mm-hmm. So because it was more like less, there wasn't like thing called being advertiser friendly, and it wasn't I guess the virtual signaling back then, which I would agree with, was how much can I show support for gays and stuff, and how outrageous it could be. And like, because it was coming out of like Bush era like politics where it was like, you know, let's not be old staunch and conservative. And now it's funny because conservatism has changed. Now you think of it as like some loud rude guy being obnoxious, right? Because of and Maxime Bernier. Now it's about those guys are brash and rude compared to like Stephen Harper Bush, which are like old church guys.
I'm not going to get into it too much, but I miss Trump in so many ways, man.
Yeah.
In so many ways. He was so much fun. You know, when the last times we came down to the States, there was some guy that was running for something and Trump was supporting him. So they had a whole table set up of Trump shit and Trump flags and everything, right? And they had Make America Great Again hats. I was like, dude, I need one, right? So we went and got our hats. And then I was posing for a picture with this Trump sign. Now, that doesn't mean I'm a supporter, okay? I just thought it was funny to take a picture with this sign. And some lady drives by and yells at me, hey, fuck you and fuck Trump.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I'm like,
we're gonna get shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in different states, it's different, right? Like, but like, I wouldn't do something like that in California, or I don't know where you guys.
No, for sure. Well, this was North Dakota. I mean, it's a red state, right? So shouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah, no, that was I don't remember, but I was young. Like when Bush got out, I was like in grade 2. So I just remember everyone say like fuck Bush, but like I didn't remember anyone getting like shit on for being a Bush supporter or something like that, or being a.
No, it wasn't bad. No, wasn't like it was with Trump. But Trump was a wild card, man. He was a maniac. So
well, a lot of people, like young conservatives, liked him because he wasn't like anti-gay, and a lot of like anonymous type, like hacker types, liked him because he like called out the Bushes on like conspiracy theories and stuff.
Well, and because he hired them.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, you know, he utilizes people. You know what? I find one moment of his presidency that I find inspiring. And I remember having a rough week. And I remember watching Dennis Rodman crying on TV with a Make America Great Again hat and like a Potcoin t-shirt. And I don't know if he was the official ambassador to North Korea, but it's like, this guy is responsible. This guy with face tattoos and a MAGA hat is responsible for like President Trump, who's a reality TV star and shouldn't, and like all these unlikely things happening. And this is happening. And like he got Trump to walk over across the border, and like he was a part of that. And like Barack Obama apparently, and this guy was Dennis Rodman was saying, no one took me serious, not even Barack Obama, but Trump took me serious. So I think Trump sees skills in people and he utilizes people.
Yeah. I don't think that Dennis Rodman was any official ambassador, any official capacity, but he grabbed it and he did it. So
so
whatever.
No, I didn't realize how tall Trump was, and like because he's like 6'4" or something. Everyone's like my height, and like Tom Cruise is like 5'2" or something.
Huge. He's huge.
That's a guy I'd like to meet. Like that's like I work with a lot of celebrities. Maybe I shouldn't admit this stuff because I work in film, but I would be so interested to meet him or any of the Trump.
I'd love. Hey man, once upon a time I thought it'd be great to sit down and meet Charles Manson. Doesn't mean I admire him. I'm just fascinated by people and the way they think. He's an interesting dude, for better or for worse, man. He's a maniac in a lot of ways, but he was interesting.
Well, I think people saw him as like a bull in a china shop. So I thought people that, you know, this podcast is going to seem like we're in like 2018 or something. But I think people saw him a bull in a china shop. So if you were like middle America and you were poor, but both people in the family were working, and like you hate Wall Street, you hate the news, and you hate big banks, and you go in and like, I'm basically stealing this quote from Michael Moore, but it's like the enemy of the enemy thing. Like, and that's when wokeness was becoming a big thing, and everyone was being called racist for saying like something a little bit right wing. So then when you start to get called racist all the time, you start to get really defensive. Maybe I will vote for Trump. Fuck you. You don't like Trump? I'm voting for Trump now too. So and they saw that those Wall Street people and the big banks didn't like Trump, or the media didn't like Trump. And they're like, well, the media also doesn't like me either, and thinks everything I do is stupid. And they don't like Hollywood too, like the elitism. I think the COVID, it really showed the world how people don't worship celebrities anymore. Like the Oscars aren't watched that much anymore.
Well, I'll watch it now that Will Smith's slapping the hell out of everybody, man.
What do you?
I want to know. The Oscars great again.
You're a comedian, and I've heard people defend him or say both of them are stupid or both of them did something right. Or what do you?
My opinion is that Chris Rock did nothing wrong other than tell a kind of weak joke. He told kind of a weak joke, if I'm being honest. And Will Smith lost his shit for whatever reason. There's a lot going on there. People have said it. I'm not going to be, breaking any ground here, but he's got issues obviously with his wife that he's got to sort out. And I think he fucked up personally. I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world. Who cares? They banned him from the Oscars for 10 years. Like, who gives a shit? They're going to put him in movies. He's going to make millions of dollars still. Like, I still want to see Bad Boys 4. I don't give a shit. Whatever. But as a comedian, it's not cool thinking that people are going to think they have a green light to go and slap out celebrities when you're offended by a joke, right? Slap out anybody when you're offended by a joke. Well, I don't like that shit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think there is a certain line, but I don't know if that was it. And I guess there was, but he was laughing until she rolled her eyes.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've been in a relationship like that where you're controlled, but like I've seen my friends be in it, and it's like, you know, they'll get reamed out when they get home and they'll be put.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like maybe
what's happening, man. I don't know how much we can say on your show. Are we like supposed to be like?
No, I just don't talk about.
You just don't talk about that one thing that we don't know about. So if we
actually we've said it a couple times, so it's gotten flagged. But what was scary was it got flagged. Like that speech must have been recorded by someone at YouTube because it was unlisted. I didn't even post it yet, and it got flagged like a song would have gotten flagged.
Wow.
So like they were really cracking down, which is, I'm not a scientist, but I thought science was supposed to be debated, and it wasn't like, maybe it was crackpots, but it was people. It was like a guy who was like an advisor to the White House. So it was like,
oh yeah,
and like, because I'm not even gonna say what he said because I gotta watch it.
Yeah, you're gonna get yourself flagged again, man.
But I mean, all in all, I had a hell of a lot of respect for Chris Rock continuing on.
Like, oh man, he took that like
still being able to like do his job and well. And you clearly can see him like hold back what he really wanted to say in that moment. So
yeah,
I give him huge props for that. But yeah, the whole, anytime that an audience member thinks it's okay to attack a performer because they might not like a particular joke or they might not like you talking about a certain group. I mean, that's, you know, it's like, where does that end?
So the guy from Seinfeld is okay then with you guys?
You know what? I mean,
Kramer?
Yeah.
You know,
there's a difference there. There's a difference there. You know what? If Will Smith was offended by Chris Rock, he could have went backstage, talked to him, they could have had it out, and he could have smacked him off backstage if they got into it. Whatever, right? That's his business. But the time and the place was super inappropriate. And I don't think the joke warranted it. It was a shitty joke. You know, I mean, I don't think that he knew I didn't know what the hell she had alopecia. You think Chris Rock is sitting at home like, what the hell is Will and Jada up to? You know, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I didn't know she had any hair issues until after this thing came out. And even if I did, who cares? It's not that bad of a
apologize later or something. And
he probably would apologize because he knows it's a shitty joke.
Yeah. Or Will could have said something to him, and then like 10 minutes later, he'd be like, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. Like, because
exactly. Yeah. I think he was pissed off because Chris Rock's attacked her before, right? You know, he's had it a couple times.
I think that family's been attacked quite a bit recently.
They have been, yeah. Hey, you know what? Everybody keeps saying, oh, Jada's a whore. She's cheating on Will, or she was cheating on him, whatever, right? Is that about that thing with like that August guy? Is that what they're talking about? Or was there something else that I missed?
No, I think
I don't know. Because I watched this thing when it all came out. They were talking about Will's on the red table, all this shit. I was like, okay, I want to see what happened. And she's talking about how when we were separated, I hooked up with this dude, right? So that's what they're talking about. They're saying, well, if you're separate, man, if I told my girlfriend before, if you ever fucking separate from me and say we're taking a break, I'm going to go out and plow so much ass while we're separated. It is absolutely ridiculous. If I'm separated, it's not cheating. So I'm sorry, I don't think Jada cheated. Maybe she's a piece of shit. I don't know her, but I don't classify that as being anything wrong. If they're taking a break, it's not his business.
Everyone has a different opinion on that too, because it's like now we're in a world of more and more open relationships, and which I couldn't see myself doing, or maybe I don't know. Like I've had girlfriends where we've talked about threesomes, and I don't know if that's considered, but that might lead to something like that. Or I think swinging's cool, but like really, if you're in an open relationship, the girl's gonna get laid way more often than you.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, especially guys that look like us. Like fuck, we're funny. We're not good at.
Hold on. Hold me back, Nelson. Like us. Look at this cut, mother. I do.
Okay. I'm like, dude, I'm like a 5 out of 10 or so, I don't know, on a good day.
Yeah. You're such a loser the way you can look down and see your penis.
The way you have those ab things, you son of a
holy shit. I think Clayton has a thing for you, Mackenzie.
I'm just saying.
Should have heard him going off earlier.
He's not a bad looking dude.
Oh, you guys are great too. What the hell was I gonna say? I don't know. You're making me blush now. Okay,
we're talking about open relationships. The chick's gonna get a lot more than the guy. Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So I thought like in a situation where you're swingers and you that night in front of each other or something, that's like tit for tat and that's fair. But it's like,
but even usually with swingers, man, it's like the guy's taking the girl out and he's watching some dude plow her better than he ever does. You know?
Yeah. It's like, well, I never hit it that hard because I kind of loved her and I was always afraid of her. And I'm gonna remember that for the rest of my life. So But how are the kids? Is it okay if we talk about your kids or?
Sure, man.
Remember when he wanted to be your son-in-law?
I wanted him to be
what
my
the hell?
son-in-law,
Yeah,
man.
Jade hasn't been returning my texts. Like, you gotta, like, did she?
You should stop attaching dick pics to them.
Yeah. Well, they're not mine. I'm lying and trying to impress her by like pulling them off the internet. And it's like, Mac, I know you're not black. Stop doing that.
Just send white ones. Yeah. That's the problem. Yeah. No, they're doing good. You know, I got 2 grandkids now. That's crazy. Jade went and had a couple babies.
A couple. So, he's like, well,
yeah, man. Yeah.
Delete that number.
Oh, I'll still continuously text her at 4 a.m. Don't worry.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, they're all doing good. We survived COVID. We didn't have COVID, but we got sick and had to isolate in the basement in case we had it, which was stupid, but is what it is. So yeah, I mean, it's weird because now they're back in school, so they're getting sick constantly from just regular colds. And since we spent 2 years hiding from the world, I feel like the little colds that they had that would have been like 3-day things are now 2-week fucking things.
Yeah, that's been frustrating. Of them, like, we're not getting the regular germs, and I don't even want to talk about this because now I'm gonna get hit for medical.
You're gonna get flagged again. Yeah. Is it spreading misinformation to just share your opinion? Like, we're not sharing a fact here. Like, I don't know if this is real, but in my experience, I feel like the colds people are getting are lasting a lot longer now, and it just seems like common sense to me that it's because our immune systems have weakened.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's a statement of fact. So people that flag this shit, I'm just saying I'm curious about that.
On your channel anyway, so whatever.
All right.
No, but I wish I lived in Alberta during this because I was in Quebec and I went through 2 curfews. The first curfew was the worst. The first curfew was from 8 p.m. to I think 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. Wow. And I was working on a show, a Canadian show. So I would get up at like 6 a.m. to be at work at 7. So I'd go to work in the dark. I worked in a studio all day and then I would drive home in the dark. I didn't see the sun until the weekends. And then like the apartments in Montreal are very small. See, when you move from Winnipeg to Montreal, you're like, holy shit, space is a commodity. I think my apartment in Winnipeg was like 800 square feet and it was just me. And like I shared an apartment that was like 500 square feet with me and my girlfriend. Plus we're locked in a cage together, just staring at each other. And then like so many couples broke up during that curfew.
Yeah.
No, and it was hard. It was rough on a lot of couples. And the girl I moved here for, no, we didn't survive. But no, I would say
you upgraded.
No, I'd say the last 2 girlfriends I had from Quebec are both beautiful in different ways.
Yeah.
So, well, as much as I joke about shit, no, I try to not talk shit about Mex. No, they're pretty great women. A lot better than all the women in Manitoba, that's for sure. Just kidding, but now that's gonna get clipped. And
yeah, you know how to come back now.
Yeah.
You know what? I survived. My relationship has been surviving COVID. It's been rough, I'll tell you that straight, because I'm not one that likes to be stuck and not going anywhere with the same person constantly. Like, I think I would do well with, you know, I live here, you live there. We see each other once in a while, you know, but being stuck together the whole time.
Yeah.
It's rough, man.
Well, actually, fuck, see, I don't see.
I'm gonna get canceled. Yeah.
So I don't. It's hard. It's weird for me to talk about it because I might get weird. I'm not gonna get weird and emotional, but like, it's funny because in Quebec there's this thing called Moving Day, where for some reason 95% of the moves happen on Canada Day. Well, because they don't celebrate Canada Day here.
Oh yeah.
Surprise, surprise. But but for some reason all the leases end on like June 30th, so like everyone moves July 1st. Very weird.
Yeah.
And I like, they have these weird traditions here that I don't understand. There's a lot of red tape, and I realized I was like, oh, I'm from the West where it maybe is Wild West compared to here. And so it's like there's a tradition, you have to move in July. Both my girlfriends broke up with me in March, so it was like, is that a thing here too with Quebec going? You have to get to be a man in March, like
Yeah, they're like, if I time this right, I can get into a new guy just before July.
I heard downtown Winnipeg's much more dangerous these days. Is that true? Or?
I think the danger's moving out. Like, you're starting to see a lot more of that in the suburbs now. People are living in bus shacks in St. Vital. Shit like that.
Yeah, like literally like right on Bishop. Just
I went back to Winnipeg for 2 months in 2020 after I moved here. And in Bruce Park there was like a homeless village, and I was like, no, I never thought I'd see that.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that sprouted up, and then I think the city tore one down, and there was a fire. There was a homeless village up by the MMF building downtown, and there was a fire, and they tore that shit down. So now they've spread out everywhere, and they're in the south end of the city now, which you never used to see.
Sorry, I got distracted. I can see a cat behind
me. This is my best friend in the whole world. His name's Oscar.
Oh my God, he's so cute.
Yeah. I found him in an alley because someone dumped him. It was funny because the date was 2017. It was the day before. I was like, it'd be really nice if I found a stray cat, because then it's hard to get one when you live in an apartment because you're not really supposed to have one. My landlord here is really cool about it. But no, I found him. Someone dumped him. And, at first he pissed and sprayed all over my apartment. But then it was like, oh, I understand why. But here's the thing. In relationships, I'm a believer. You fix things. You fix everything. And I just trained him to not. I got him neutered. But then you train him to not piss everywhere and spray.
Oh, I found Clayton in the exact same way. Yeah. Just dumped in an alley, and I brought him home. He pissed on everything. And
no, he's like a good guy. Both my exes, they said when I left, he would wait by the door for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like when I sleep, he sleeps like right here or right here, and I don't know. It makes you less lonely to have a good guy. No, I told him, I said, like, I'll never abandon. I know it's maybe weird to talk to your cat, but I said, like, I'll never abandon him, like, no matter what, until the day I die. He's mine, because I don't believe anyone. This is why I don't have roommates. Is because I think they'd be an idiot and let him out or something. Like, I'm just I'm very possessive of him, and it's like when I've left town, I've like paid like some chick to like come over, and I've like given her like $500. Like, you have to pet him like for an hour.
Oh yeah.
For a game with him.
One of my cats nearly killed Nelson's partner.
Yeah.
She was over at one of my places, cat sitting and play sitting, and she just woke up, and my cat was like this, just like over her on the couch, like.
Clayton's cats are assholes, man.
Oh yeah.
They really are.
Oscar, he definitely loves the females, and he definitely gets cuddly as fuck with them. I don't know. Well, on the females, I had a girlfriend admit that she likes coming over more just to see him than me. So I was like, whatever. He's very more handsome than me. So
you don't have a roommate right now?
No. No, as I said, just got out of one relation. We weren't living together, but well, we both had keys to each other's places, and maybe I'm talking about this too much. Maybe I'll start ugly face crying and like.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
No, but no, the La Femme du Quebec are quite mystical. There, if I were to say so, maybe I should make an advertisement for Quebec, like the province. But if I were to say, I think some people here, like especially like women, they're more down to earth, but more mystical, and they're easier to talk to.
How long you been out there for?
2 years.
2 years? Fuck. Was he out there when we went out there? Probably, eh?
Probably, yeah.
Fuck, you just disappeared on us one day, man. Just stop talking to all of us. You're like, fuck all these guys.
Yeah, I guess like the fresh start. No, actually, no. I said fuck all the comedians a bit before I left. Too.
That's fair, yeah.
Well,
yeah, and I was actually gonna bring that up. It's like I used to do stand up too, and like so I understand why. Like, I've been there when people in the audience are talking, and it's like, just shut the fuck up. You're not helping.
Yeah.
But when you do that, you look like a fucking idiot, and you look unfunny.
I was going to bring it up when we were talking about the Chris Rock stuff, because if I remember correctly, you were one of the comedians that got physically attacked on stage for a joke. We won't talk about the joke, but wasn't that not a thing?
Oh, right. With a certain trans comedian that didn't like you at all.
No, everyone loved me. It wasn't on stage. No, okay, we're not talking about that. No. People,
just to clarify, it wasn't an offensive joke, because you brought up that she's trans. It wasn't an offensive joke or something. She just didn't like you and attacked you one night or threatened you. Or no, was it John?
I don't know. She had someone by the neck.
It wasn't me.
No, we're thinking of John MacArthur. I don't know if you knew him. Yeah, he got attacked.
He's the guy that peed on you or something, right? I was gonna bring that.
He did. Yeah, he peed on me in fucking Fargo one night.
Yeah. People remember about us.
I don't know. Then he peed himself because I paid him back nicely for doing that.
Yeah.
I was watching when in research you guys. I watched one of your guys. You guys have like a show together, right, on YouTube, or it's called.
Oh man.
I saw.
Yeah. About me for a minute.
We didn't talk for like a year because Clayton had this great idea that we were gonna do this show and we were gonna sell it to Shaw or something, and we had a guy come on to direct it, and it just all went to shit. And Clayton and I got into a pretty good scrap over it.
But that one comedian, he built like a mini home. I thought that was, I don't remember his name, but I remember he did construction, and I remember he was always really nice to me. You guys went out and saw him in like Alberta or something.
Oh, Chris, yeah. He built his little mini house.
Yeah, no, my neighbors here, they're doing that in a van, and it's like I guess you don't really need a lot. I don't have a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's wild. No, he sold his house. He had a house in Winnipeg, sold it. He built this little tiny house, and he moved out to BC, and he's living in his tiny house still.
Yeah. Well, when my first apartment, they kicked me out because they didn't like that I had Oscar. And everyone, some people like shouldn't be parents because they're like, just get rid of the fucking cat. I'm like, no, man, like this guy's my buddy. Like, I'm not putting him in a cage. Like, what the fuck? People. And I just remember that was a big fucking fight. And I didn't really fight it that much because the people are like, you could like say he's this kind of animal and he's a helper. And actually, the courts of St. James, shout out to you assholes. The guy entered my apartment without my permission. So that was a case that but I don't want to live somewhere if they don't want me to live there, kind of thing.
You done bitching about me now?
Yeah, we didn't bitch at you too much.
And actually, if you look on their Google reviews, it'll say like a lot of maintenance guys, they were they like in the apartments, and a lot of chicks are like, yeah, he was like going through my drawers, and it was just weird, and they were coming by. So so those are the Google reviews there. So I hope I don't get sued for saying that because I am just saying the truth. So, but that was my experience with them. So.
You brought up Chris's tiny house. I have to share this because it's kind of funny. His background is construction. He did the open mic circuit and did comedy for a while, but he's a construction worker. So he had all these construction friends. And when he's building this tiny house, he put out a call to have people come and help him. And 4 people showed up, and they were just fucking comedians, me and this guy. Yeah. Just totally useless people coming to help. It's like, we can hold drywall. That's it.
Yeah, we live things and
I drove. I learned like not everyone's good. That's the lesson I guess I'm learning recently is like not everyone's going to be there for the same that you'd be there for them. I drove a guy around for 6 months when he got a DUI and he had a decently high paying sales job. Didn't once say thank you. Was a family member. Didn't say thank you. I put my film career on hold a bit. Didn't say
shit.
And there's people when they're crying and they're depressed and they've been down. I've been there. But as soon as I have a bad day, oh man, don't be so fucking needy. It's like, okay, well, like
don't be such a pussy, man.
That sounds familiar.
Fuck, hey, I'm legitimately always there for you after I'm done being a dick. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's just really funny how you.
If you watch the crap I put on TikTok, it's basically I just started it because he told me about this TikTok crap, so I just started it as a place to dump videos of me bullying him. That's pretty much it. But it's just fucking around, right? But people have left comments saying. The narrator is clearly not funny. He's a bully and he's too mean to that guy.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Do you guys still hang out with Mark? Or?
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, he's still lurking.
Yeah, no, he's still around.
No, I've been curious about the comedy scene in Winnipeg.
I'm totally detached from the comedy scene in Winnipeg, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, how can I put this? We're at a point in our careers where Winnipeg doesn't factor into it that much.
Wow, that's Clayton's words, not me.
I have a dream to come back and run as mayor of Winnipeg one day, so I don't want to talk too much about it. But I find there is in everything there is a crab bucket culture in Winnipeg, and even like when I worked as a grip in Winnipeg, and then I would go to BC and try a couple days there, and I came and worked in Montreal in 2019 and worked 2 months with like a pretty high up there crew that works on like big American shows, and I was trying to bring back like in Winnipeg all the grips were taught by like 3 guys, and those 3 guys were taught by 1 guy, so everything's done the same. And it's like no matter how old the techniques, and I'm sure they're evolving now, but I remember trying to bring back some of these techniques, and it's like, who the fuck are you, Mr. Big Boy Fancy Pants, going to Montreal? I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, no, there was issues in the past with the scene, and I didn't really like it, but I don't know. I'm completely detached to it, so I know nothing about it now. I don't know most of the people performing. I don't know how supportive or unsupportive they are. I just don't do it anymore. I don't have time. I'm working full time right now. I got a job for this COVID shit. And I'm doing my own thing. By the way. Yeah, Clayton got himself a job. He's actually working. It's impressive.
And we actually work at the same place or the same organization.
See, I wasn't going to say that I got you a job. I was going to let you sound like a hero on your own, man.
I got the job despite you, by the way.
That's not true.
Are you guys there for a comedy tour right now? It's not for that job, right?
No, we're just out of town just to do some shopping, man. I had a couple days off work, and I wanted to come here and get a bunch of USA junk food and shit. That's
Oreo really cakesters, Tahiti treats, stuff that we can't get.
More diabetes. That's all it is. Yeah.
So, hey, at the border, did you guys have to show your Vax Pass?
No, we didn't. But when we come back, we have to fill out some Arrive Can app thing that asks for your vaccination card.
did you segue into the actual show that you're
doing?
No,
I did not. I filmed a TV show for APTN. So it's completely done. It's ready to go. It's been edited. I'm told they're going to air it sometime soon. But every time I ask the director, he's like, yeah, APTN wants another round of edits. And so I'm told sometime in the next month it should come out. But he has his own show. I have my own TV show on APTN.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
It's just, okay, the basic premise of the show is I took a DNA test, found out that I was much less indigenous than I've been raised to think I was. So then I go across the country and I meet with all wrestlers, indigenous wrestlers and entertainers and all kinds of people, and to get their idea of what does it mean to be indigenous. And then we poke fun at it and we do a lot of sketches and shit like that.
That's why I got involved.
Yeah.
Your percentage? What is your percentage?
Like everything, I dragged Clayton along for the ride. So I was told I was Métis, right? That's what I was told. Okay. And my understanding of Métis meant you were half white, half Indian, we said back then, right? Mm-hmm. And then as I got older, I realized, hey, wait a minute, my grandma's brown on my dad's side and my grandpa's white. So there's no, okay, I got to be like 25%. I'm a quarter indigenous. Yeah. That's what I am. So I took this DNA test fully expecting that that's what I would be because that's what everybody told me. 12%
or something.
12% indigenous. And I've been doing all these shows on the res talking about our people and our lifestyle. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, I'm only 12%. That's like, fuck, that's nothing. Man. So I really struggled with this for a little bit, right? Like, can I even talk about
well,
this?
You're not indigenous. So I can nickname you Elizabeth Warren then, right?
Yeah. There's
a guy. Oh, maybe I don't know if this will hurt an opportunity. There's a guy. He's fully white and he's Irish, got big Irish teeth, and he's got like red hair. And I saw him once on AP10, and he was talking about our people. And I found out he's adopted into a Native family. I'm not going to say his name.
Okay.
Okay.
Like
no, that happens.
Yeah. Because it's
cool. That's what I was talking about with people, right? Like, what does if you go by blood quantum, which is like a Western view of identity, right?
Which is how I see it because I'm treaty.
His fucking mom was like a British Mary Poppins teacup holding lady. Guy had never been on a fucking reserve till he was like 30. Yeah. Doesn't know shit about being indigenous. He's got a treaty card from Pegwis. Pegwis fucking gives anybody a treaty card.
Yeah, I might even. Well, actually, I found out, and it's funny because I guess you want to talk about things that make you different. Like I found out that my grandmother's maiden name, she came over from Poland, is kind of very Jewish. So it's like, if that was true, then by God's law, I am Jewish. And yes, I am circumcised. So I don't know. In case you guys were wondering. Well, let's get
I was wondering if I was going to ask you to dock, but that's not an option, I guess. No docking. Clayton's like, when are we going sailing? I told him we were docking in Grand Forks. So.
You know, it's funny. In Quebec, they bring up Louis Riel and they talk about the French thing. And I'm like, I'm from Manitoba. I actually barely even, didn't even, like, it's not brought up, because I guess being European is not being celebrated in Manitoba. And that's my joke. I'm like, we don't really celebrate being white in Manitoba. Sorry.
Yeah.
And like French from France.
The white half of Louis Riel is never really talked about.
Yeah. In Manitoba, as Métis, we say the white half was the crazy side.
I think it's people that say the other thing too. But anyways, I was told it was like the Manitoba was the first. I don't know. We're getting boring into a history lesson, but I actually think they should put his statue out front of the legislative building.
Well, we have his statue there behind it.
Yeah.
And they had a statue of him for years, and it was like some artistic rendition of the suffering of Louis Riel, and it was just this fucked up, deformed statue, and Métis people were really pissed off.
For some reason, yeah.
No, but I think like really he represents Manitoba and the West in a good way. Like, because think about it, like what's Manitoba? It's French, it's Native, and it's a bunch of people that hate people in Ottawa, and that's who, like, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like he had been. You know what's funny? Because like I always say, like I think because per capita Manitoba has a higher rate of crime than most other. Like Winnipeg is way up there, and then it's
represent.
Yeah. And it's like, I was in a bar here at first and I was like, why are there no fights? That's fucking weird. Or the first thing I noticed is their liquor stores don't have bulletproof glass at their entrance. I'm like,
oh yeah.
Well, so I always tell people, I think like there was just a history of violence in Manitoba. Like that's where the civil wars were fought.
Yeah.
Wars aren't called civil wars, are they? They're just called savages versus the government, even now.
Uprisings. We call them uprisings. Yeah. Which is a great name for a Métis Viagra, by the way. If I ever fucking pitch that company, Métis Uprising, man. Huh?
But no, I don't know. I feel it's funny because like the crime here, I'm walking around downtown at like 4 a.m, first summer, like drunk and stuff. I don't feel any fear. I wouldn't do that in Winnipeg at like 9 p.m.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't do that shit in Winnipeg in any part of the city, man.
Yeah.
No, you know what's weird about Winnipeg? Like we have nothing in Winnipeg. That's the issue, okay? We don't have anything.
Hey man,
We're
Justin
the slurpee
Bieber's
capital
dad.
of Canada and the murder capital, and we're proud of both of those things in equal measure.
And Justin Bieber's dad came from Winnipeg. Don't forget that.
That's true. Yeah, we got that going for us.
But okay, what else do we got? We got Terry Fox, but he was born there.
That's Salisbury House.
We got the saddest museum in the world.
Yeah, we got Neil Young. What else?
Yeah, we kidnapped Neil Young though, didn't we?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know.
If you're a wrestling fan, we had Roddy Piper.
Yeah. Well.
Hey, isn't who's that chick from True Blood? Wasn't she from Winnipeg?
Anna Paquin, yeah, but she moved away when she's 4. A lot of these famous people moved away when they were 4.
Yeah.
Terry Fox,
they got out.
She left when she was 4, and that's how desperate we are for attention, Winnipeg, man. We're like the lonely stepchild whose dad died.
Well, I was on a show where it was a Canadian show, and it was based in Toronto, and it was a doctor show. And on that episode, there was like a kid he just moved from Winnipeg. And while we're like filming the scene, a part of me almost was like, yeah, but it's like, what the fuck? And like all day I was like so chipper. I'm like, yeah,
you did it, buddy. You did it.
Fuck. No,
I didn't want to get stabbed by him.
Yeah. No, and it's just
Winnipegger. Which one of us is gonna stab who?
And it's like most people I know in Winnipeg, they haven't been directly bear maced, but they've gotten it in the eyes when someone.
Oh yeah, I got bear maced.
Yeah, what was
being
that,
at a club at the wrong time?
The rendezvous.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah,
my buddy, you guys met him. I don't know if I should say his name, or I don't know if he wants me to say his name when talking about this, but you guys have met this guy, big, black, handsome fellow.
Yeah,
you guys remember him, very handsome. If you're watching,
I remember what you used to do to him on stage. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, he just wants to judge up the past all the time, eh?
Yeah.
Anyways, we can get Mackenzie cancer.
Yeah, but he does security. Something about black guys having security companies, and he does. But a gun was pulled on him, and the guy tried to pull the trigger.
Oh shit!
But it clicked because he didn't pull the safety off. And he talks about it like it was just another Tuesday, and I'm like,
oh man,
like, yeah. And
I had a gun pulled on me in Chicago, and I still wake up crying about it, man.
Yeah.
And they just pulled it out. There was no trigger pulling.
You know, the first moment I missed Winnipeg was, I remember, I think it was last summer or the summer before. I was like, there's a lot more. They closed down a lot of streets here, and they so people could avoid each other in the street and go shopping and stay 6 feet apart or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I was talking to 2 girls on the balcony, and a lot of people, because my French isn't the best still. I've been here 2 years. I'm working on it. But I could tell they were talking about me, and the girls were getting awkward. It was going well. Like, I wasn't like, and these 2 girls were talking. They're asking where I'm from, and they kept saying like, oh, these people are making fun of you for trying to hit on us. And they're like, we don't care. You're a nice guy. It's going really well. And I just I said, where I come from, like, people don't do that shit because they're afraid of getting stabbed. Because, like, if I'm walking by some dude, I wouldn't be like, oh, look at that fucking poser. It's like, no, I'm afraid of getting stabbed.
Exactly. Yeah.
More vocal.
Oh, God, it's in my artery.
Yeah.
So I miss the harshness of Winnipeg too. So it's so weird to say. It's like, anytime I've gone to Vancouver, I feel like a god amongst mortals, like walking around in a t-shirt with -15. So, Clayton, what's big in your life?
His belly? Me? Yeah. I was like, you set me up for that one. You set me up. Yeah, I mean, like, I was fortunate enough to be involved in Nelson's show on APTN. He kind of dragged me kicking and screaming, and APTN was like, you guys are funny together, you should do that. So I got a feature credit.
Is the round table still going? Because on our last podcast we actually talked about that.
No, Laughing Drum is not happening anymore.
No, they canceled it, and then it was okay. They canceled it, and then there was some talk about me being brought back as the host because the original host had to leave. He went and did something else, but I couldn't do it. There's some kind of rules with your union. I don't understand it. That's fine. Show was canceled. They brought it back, and I thought, sweet, I'll have my spot back at least. But I didn't get I got to do one episode. That was it.
Found out about the 12%. That's why.
That's but you know what? When I became 12%, that's when they gave me a show.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
who knows? Yeah, no, that's been canceled for a while. No Laughing Drum anymore.
Oh, sorry.
And then we're just sort of getting ready to go back out on the road and do shows.
Starting to do shows again. Yeah, I've done a few things on Zoom, which is awkward, but I'm adjusting to it. You know,
it's not going bad.
Comedy is
it's just terrible. Weird. It's just weird, you know, and your timing, it's hard to get your timing because there's no interaction, right? There's no response. You get a couple fucking clap emojis and shit on the screen. That's it. So you're supposed to do a 45-minute set, and 32 minutes in, you're like, whoa. Yeah. Okay, what else can we talk about?
Yeah, well, because I remember like a lot of it was, I guess, some of the beaking and the crowd work, and yeah, like I never got to high level. I always used to brag that I did at Rumors, which is like the one comedy club in Winnipeg. But then it's like I didn't. Yeah. When I told people, oh yeah, I've done a couple sets at Rumors, I wouldn't mention that it was for a competition.
Yeah. Yeah. You got home. I was there one night and I watched you do the best of the night and not advance.
Yeah, legitimately told me that after the fact.
Which unfortunately happens from time to time. Comedy's subjective. If you get the wrong judge, it is what it is. But I thought that night, and if you sucked, you know, I tell you, Mackenzie, you fucking sucked.
No,
you knocked it out of the park, man.
All the people, oh man, I don't want to talk because then it's bitter. And like that actually, I did that 2 years in a row. And 2 years in a row, like it was the same thing where people, friends of like the two contestants that advanced, they're like, oh man, you should have been the other guy.
Yeah.
And then it's like I had a couple bad sets, and then what else? Oh, and then I noticed that comedians joke about being poor all the time. And so, you know, I want to get to a place where I have like a wife, a kid, and a house, and a, you know, picket fence and stuff. So, you know, I kind of went more towards that, and you know, whatever. No, I miss it though, too, but I guess everyone misses it now. So, no, I had a lot of close friends from that, and it's like you're around guys who are also fucking weird, just like you. So
that's what I like. I miss the open mic camaraderie of the group that I had. But I don't miss running the shows, man. It was such a pain in the ass. And then I would start hating comics because they're so fucking tough to deal with. Well, you know,
comics are like, they're divas, and everyone's sensitive, and I don't know, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and everybody's ready for their HBO special, right? On their first set.
Everyone has that. I was talking, like, you know, it's something about people in Winnipeg too, where it's like, it's a great place to start, but it's like you have to move away. Like I have friends who are actors, and I said, not to poo-poo on the industry there, but I'm like, you have to move away.
Yeah.
Okay? Like I know a guy that auditions once a year, and he tells people he's an actor. I'm like, but not really.
Yeah.
Kind of delusional. Like it's.
Yeah. I admit that I'm delusional. Let's be clear. Like, and I've been in a few things, but also, it's funny for me because I've seen it from both the acting perspective and the comedy perspective, that like people suddenly think, oh, I've got to move to Toronto or Vancouver to make it. And I'm like, well, if you're not even getting noticed here, it's going to be a hell of a lot harder, you know, and those kind of.
I'm not attached to the movie scene, but isn't Winnipeg like kind of a hub these days, or in the last few years? Isn't it gotten better?
If I were to explain, I haven't been there in 2 years, but even when I was there, it was pretty hot and pretty glowing. And what it is, there's a very big tax credit. So if you have $1 million, so for every dollar that's put towards a Manitoba worker, or I believe location, but it's more the worker. So they're crazy that you prove your Manitoba residency. And in other provinces, but it's around 60 to 80%, and depends on if you're farther from the city, then they get paid even more for a tax credit. And if it goes past a certain temperature, they get more of a tax credit too. And so there's a huge, so a lot of the hallmarks are filmed in Winnipeg, because Winnipeg still has Montreal too, but Montreal is more expensive. And Winnipeg is one of the only cities in the West that has like an old Winnipeg in it, and has the exchange. Has a lot of cute. It has mostly every type of neighborhood. It's got
a lot of character.
New suburb, old suburb. It's not like I found when I was in Calgary and Edmonton, everything is like more cold and steel and glass and more modern, because the cities thrived. Winnipeg almost died as a city, you know, when the whole Panama Canal opened up and it wasn't the hub of the world anymore. And, you know, no, that's the thing about like we have an exchange district here in Montreal, but it's like 10 times the size.
Yeah.
I find the biggest thing I'd point out that's a difference, it's like you don't need a car here. I still work in film, and we film a lot outside the city, but I didn't take transport here for like a year, public transport, because in Winnipeg, if you take public transport, you're kind of a loser, right? No offense, Clayton. Sorry.
Thanks for having me on your podcast, Mackenzie. That fucking guy.
But it's like here, there's an underground subway and it's heated, and you go into I live right by one, and you go into the ground, and 10 minutes later, you're 20 kilometers away. It's like, this is And I have like, I'm in the suburb of Verdun, and like there's like 10 bars in walking distance from me. And it's like, I'm like, it's like impossible to drink and drive here. Like you can't drive downtown because the parking costs like $50.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the parking tickets in Winnipeg are $50. I got one here. It was like $200. I never paid for parking.
Oh, wow.
I never once paid for parking. I just got the tickets as they came because I'm like, it actually probably equals less than paying for
yeah. We took Mark to Montreal like 3 years ago. And since you mentioned Mark, I'm going to bring him up. And he's French. He has a job where he works bilingual, right? And like, I always tease him and I say that he speaks swamper French. You know, like, you ever watch King of the Hill, that guy Boomhauer, right? Like, that's how Mark speaks French.
But
so we were trying to get him to talk to people in Montreal, and he fucking wouldn't do it, man. He's just petrified that people would laugh at his terrible French.
The French is by the way, I have to say a message. Pour la femme du Québec, juste connais donc vous regardez maintenant, juste connais, je t'aime beaucoup. Anyways,
so the women in Quebec, you like to pee on them. I think that's
that's exactly what I said. No,
that's Saint Boniface. In Saint Boniface, that's how that translates.
So. But I noticed here, and I don't want to complain, is there's a lot of French from France people here, and my understanding of French is like I can hear it a lot better, and I connect words, and I'll know 3 words of a sentence or 5 words. And in situations like film and like lighting, I'll just kind of connect it in my brain and guess and make estimated guesses.
I was in Paris a couple of years ago, and the dudes out there told me that when they watch like movies from Quebec, they have to use subtitles because they can't understand the French.
It's funny because my first Quebecois girlfriend couldn't watch The Crown.
Oh yeah,
the accent, and that's the thing. All the language apps are in French from like Parisian French.
Yeah.
And I can actually understand Anglophones because they're slow and they pronounce the words really slow. Like I'm working on, like in set, like it's they say the word 18 a lot because there's these flags, diffusion flags that are like 24 by 18. That's the size. So you call for it. And in the apps, in the French from France people, they would say 18 by saying 18. And here it's zit. And then they're like, what the fuck, Mackenzie? How do you not understand us yet? You should learn. But for the whole stereotypes about Quebec, I've mentioned this on my channel a couple times. I actually find people here more friendly, more hospitable, more likely to be like, yeah, come over. And they don't know you at all. And you're hanging out and like in a group and you're hanging out and having beers in a park.
Yeah, because they're not trying to stab you.
Yeah, they're not stealing your bike and stabbing you, man.
But the stereotype of the French person that hates English people, that's like 1 in 100 here. I have run into that, and I have run into, and people back home in here have said, it's like, well, you're some Anglophone asshole coming here stealing jobs and dating their women. And I've definitely met like guys that like when they were alone with me, they ripped me apart for not being fluent yet, and they used it as a way to feel smarter than me, and they refused to talk English to me to try and make it look dumb. So it is what it is, and it's a thing, I guess, going on with them, and I can't stop it, so it's whatever.
I imagine it's easier in Montreal. Like, I don't know. I'm just being completely ignorant here, but I'm guessing. I think in Montreal, they're probably a little more used to it, so they're a little more easygoing. Whereas maybe in somewhere else in Quebec, you might get more of a hard time.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I could be a trucker here, or I could work in film, but I couldn't work at McDonald's, or I couldn't work in customer service, because I think by law, you have to know French, and then because you're in Montreal you have to know English, so by law there's jobs I can't have, so it's like you feel kind of dumb and limited sometimes. But I would say with communication, most people switch because they hear my accent, but I try and I'll keep trying. With my French tutor, I had like a whole 20-minute conversation with him, but he's a tutor and he's gonna go slow, but I find here for the sake of certain things, like they just switch. But there is a bit of a loneliness, I guess, because like at work, everyone's joking and pissing around in French and having a ball. And it's like, so I'm kind of not a part of group conversations. I have a lot of So there's a bit of loneliness in that I've just kind of gotten used to. So I realized when I went to Ottawa, it's like, holy shit, I know what everyone's saying around me. So it's like I felt a bit isolated because of that, but it's a good experience and it gives me more empathy. And the more I learn about French, the more I realize about English, I guess. I don't know. It's because a lot of English comes from French. Actually, all the higher society words that like me and you wouldn't use, or Clayton, come from French. So you would say your bedroom right now, right? But the Queen would say bed chamber, and chambre is the word for room.
Yeah.
You could say we could meet ensemble, or we could go for a walk, or we could march. And marche is how you say walk. I'm probably not pronouncing it right. Or ghost, phantom. So the higher society words in French, because there's a German root and a French root.
Yeah.
So my pretentious lesson for the day.
Fuck, so your podcast is educational, man. We've covered history, fake science.
Talking about, and then talking
one time, like you had videos of you saying the N-word. Like, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's trying so hard to make a kid get you canceled, man.
Yeah, that is not true at all. And I kind of nodded and laughed, so that doesn't make me look good. But no, that is not. And
he's going to clip that little bit out of context and put
that
on.
He's saying nachos, but yeah, sorry. What were you trying to say, Nelson?
Humor Clayton. He's slow.
Yeah,
it's fine. He's wearing a shirt that says hug dealer. It's got a picture of a cat.
Yeah, man.
Clayton's a hug dealer.
Look at that.
That's his get laid outfit, man.
Yep. I deal in hugs.
We're going clubbing tonight. Clayton's getting some ass with that shirt.
So in Minneapolis too, what's like, I don't know, I feel like I'm in a different world because I saw that photo of Alice Cooper and I thought you were lying. I'm like, and that's like from 10 years.
No, legit, man. I legit felt like a piece of shit because you were asking me all week and I've been busy with work and stuff. So
How dare you put your family
it off
before me? This guy that you talk to once every 6 years.
No, like my daughter messaged me. She's like, hey, what time are we meeting up? I'm like, for what? For Alice Cooper. Well, when is it? Tonight. Fuck, of course, man. And then I forgot, like, as soon as I remembered the concert, I was like, okay, sounds good, let's do that. And then I completely forgot about you, and I have two phones, right? So this is the one that you text me on that I don't often have on, and this is the one that I was on all day yesterday. So I get to the concert, and I finally turn this one on, and then I see all your messages, and I felt like a total piece of shit, because the first one I read was, hey, buddy, are you almost ready? And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, and over text, all of my
specifically said, please don't flake on me. I'm like, I'm not going to do that shit. I got you, bro. I'm like, fuck.
I'm a needy son of a bitch over text sometimes, and I was starting to get,
I could,
man. And then you get, sorry, what were you saying? You're like,
I was just gonna say I could feel the sadness. It's all good.
Hey, I just went through.
I felt bad, but it was legit. I forgot about Alice Cooper. Okay. I went to the show, and here we are, man.
Well, and that's the thing with him. Like, he ADHD's past like so much crap in a day that I'm surprised he still has all of his children. Like, that's legit surprising.
I think I do. I'm not sure.
How many do you have?
6 total.
Holy shit.
Every time I go to the park, I find 2 new ones, man. Just leave 2 old ones behind. Upgrade.
Next generation.
Clayton, do you have any kids?
No.
Clayton can't even get laid, man.
Shut up. You know I'm engaged.
Is he? Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Yes.
See, we went opposite directions on that. You say congratulations. I say, are you fucking nuts? Have you not learned anything from watching me fail time and time again?
I think my dad's on his 3rd fiance now. And so I'm like, and my mom too. And it's just like, I have no hope for this at all. It's like, even if you do fall in love, nothing lasts forever anymore.
Yeah. My dad had like 5 wives, man.
Yeah.
And then every time he got divorced, he lost all his shit. He would have to start brand new every time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough. No, I don't know. Yeah, it's something. Well, I guess, and I feel like love is dead a bit. Like, see, I'm not to sound negative and not woe is me, but it's like all this OnlyFans stuff, and like it's. I think it's more, and even like it's just more. I find the last 3 girlfriends I met were actually from work, so I feel lucky, and like I don't know. It's just because I'm not a good guy on paper. Like, I'm 5'9" and I make an average salary, and I'm not a lawyer. I gotta start lying and saying my dick's like 12 inches and that I'm a lawyer. What?
The fuck is wrong with being 5'9"?
No, I actually think Clayton.
That's a solid, bro.
Yeah, more than enough.
Yeah. So
Clayton is 7 feet tall, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm 6'5".
Yeah, might as well be 7 feet.
I don't know. Height's a huge thing on Tinder, so I don't know, download Tinder. I'm sure you do quite well with it. So before what else?
What's crazy is my fiance would let me download Tinder if I wanted to.
Swingers.
It's
gross.
Oh, sorry. Is it awkward because I talked about the open relationships and how the girl gets laid more often? Is that a situation with? Maybe I'm being rude here. I shouldn't bring this up.
Could be.
No, I mean,
let's just.
No, it's just okay. I'll put it this way, not to air our business.
Maybe we shouldn't.
This will be kind of a fun thing to talk about.
Okay, go.
No, fuck Mary.
Sounds like you want somebody else to.
No, it's just I've had this conversation with Nelson. That I'm on the road a lot, and she's not I want to say naive or jealous enough to be like, if you like even talk to other women, it's going to be an issue kind of thing. And so we just have a very good understanding of what we both expect and what we both are okay with.
Yeah.
You know what it is? Like, sex is cardio. So if Clayton has an option to get out of that shit, he's on board.
Can we just cuddle?
I'll maybe I'm becoming more feminine in my old age, but like, I think I would rather someone physically cheat than be like, oh, I went out on a date with them and it was really romantic.
Oh, and he and I really connect,
Yeah, like that would fucking
myself too.
Because you could or if you had an open relationship, it's like, I want you to just bang. Like, I don't want you to be like, oh, we went here and it was like, and it's like a date that like I didn't get taken on or something. And so like that to me would like tear me up because I don't know, like, the last couple, the last two girlfriends I had were extremely beautiful. They both worked on set, and guys would always, it was such a test of jealousy. And because guys would always fucking follow them around. And actually we worked together on a couple films and you could never tell we're dating because I just know different character at work. But guys, I would, out of the corner of my eye, I would see these fucking guys following them around. And when they walk by, their heads turn, and like every ounce of me is like, no, I'm not going to be jealous. This is just a curse of having a really pretty girlfriend. But yeah, I don't know. Is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's when they start, but yeah.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm not a jealous dude no matter what.
I'm not a jealous dude, but I hear you on that whole emotional piece versus the physical piece. Me and my partner, we survived COVID. As much as I joke, we survived. We're still plowing through things. Just she's busy with school, so I struggle with that because I'm trying to be patient because I know that's where her focus needs to be.
Yeah.
But I'm a fucking comedian and we need attention. We're attention whores, man.
Yeah.
So if she's too busy for that, I'm trying to be understanding, but sometimes it's rough, right?
I actually always thought like strippers and comedians are like basically the same thing. Like you're being vulnerable to get attention, and yet I somehow have more respect for strippers because they're actually getting money out of it and not being delusional about it.
They get paid a lot more.
Yeah.
And
now they got OnlyFans, man. Comedians on OnlyFans getting fucking money.
Man, I got a friend and like she was telling me how much she made. And it's like, damn, I gotta get into that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how much they make. Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't have an OnlyFans, Mackenzie.
Well, he's only 5'9", man.
Yeah, exactly. So
cameraman, you know these things.
Yeah, jeez.
All about the angles.
So anyways, I guess I was gonna try and fit in why I got circumcised, but I guess that's next podcast. But
yeah, we'll do a full episode. Yeah. You know what? Actually, if you got time, I've never done this as a bit, but this is a real thing because I got kids. I got boy kids, right? And my first born son, we circumcised him. I didn't really care to do it, but it was important. And Wendy said that, my ex said, oh, the father and son, they should match, right? And, and then we had another boy, and I was like really against it that time. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not shy. I'll fucking show you. Anyway, but that whole argument, she used it again on the second kid, like, oh, the father and son should match. Otherwise, it'd be weird for the kid. It's like, what are we going to be having a fucking threesome in the future? Be like, hey, Dad, that's weird. Our dicks don't match. Like, how the fuck is that an argument? We need to match. It's so weird.
Well, you want to know something? So I got circumcised at 24. And
oh, yeah, you were saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Little late. I know, right? And
yeah, I'm like, there's a delay on that.
No, it sounds like something I'm making up, but no, it actually legitimately happened. And
do you have like infections or something? Is that?
No, let's not start that. No,
no, because that's like a common thing. Like some people that have to get it later in life, it's because they get like fucking.
what it was something called physmosis, where it just like the skin started shrinking, and it like I would like not want to stop having sex, and so it split open. And I want to make a video, like a 10-minute video, just talking about this to like tell guys who it's such a rare thing. And
educational piece, man.
I've met one other guy that has had this, and that was last year, and I was like blown away because it felt very alone, because I'm like, this is, and people said like it's called a minor surgery, but I'm like, no, it's a pretty huge surgery actually. And I was awake for it, and I actually watched Lego Batman. It was like right above, and then my dick just like numb as shit, and I thought it would be like a cut or something, but no, they like put it in a clamp and they twist it. And if I don't know which, I think I like it better cut, but that maybe is just my mind telling me that, because it's like,
they're like weird now that it's cut, the head looks like Lego Batman.
Yeah. But no, long story short, I had physmosis, but then like no one, like I swear it's like, it felt like medical professionals weren't prepared for this, because I just kept getting sent to other doctors. Like they didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And like a couple of them suggested like, you might have to get circumcised. I was like, yeah, right. Actually, I was dating someone from Israel, and she was very upfront to be critical about me and what should be better. And she said, cut dicks are better. Your dick would look so much better if it was cut, which I thought was a very rude thing to say. Even the doctor, when I told him that, he's like, your ex kind of sounds like a bitch. I was like, I guess she was just very upfront about her opinions, and that's okay. And this is like an ex from a long time ago. But I got sent to a urologist. I got sent to dermatologist. And when I went to, some of these medical professionals, man, they do not respect people's time. But I remember I had to wait 3 months because it's like a specialist appointment. And I waited 3 months, and the guy shows up like an hour late. So, and this was on my work lunch, so I had to phone and explain. I'm like, look, I might have to get circumcised, and I didn't want to tell anyone about this, but I had to tell my boss. I was like,
I'm ready to leave at any fucking second, and you're making me wait an extra hour.
Yeah. So, but then like when the guy, he was talking about doing it, I was like, have you done this? I'm like, can you do it? He's like, and if I were to ask you, it's like, can you change my tire?
Oh, I watched a YouTube video.
Yeah, like it seemed like that. He's like, yeah, no, I can do it. I've done it before. It's like, and so actually I found a guy who is a specialist in it, and he does like 10 a day. So it was a Filipino guy.
Oh yeah, that's the guy you want. Yeah.
And it was either a Jewish guy or a Filipino guy that I was doing it with.
But you get a gay dude. You get a gay doctor to do that, because if anybody's going to treat your penis with respect and care, it's going to be a gay dude.
And he's going to make it look real nice.
I think so, yeah. Give you a nice haircut after.
Well, I didn't come out with like weird stitch marks or anything, but it was pretty rough because for like a week, I like couldn't move very much. And the people that were supposed to take care of me in the surgery, they bailed last second. People, so I don't. It teaches you.
How long did you have to let it rest? Like, were you able to, like, before you were able to start banging again?
I don't even remember, but it was like, I think it was like a month or 2 months.
Wow,
It was long.
My ex-father-in-law had the same thing. At like 60 years old, he had to go get circumcised.
It's like very bizarre, and it sounds like you're making it up, but this stuff does happen. And actually an ex drove me to the hospital, and then the person that was supposed to drive me bailed on driving me. So they bailed like half an hour before, and it's like a 25-minute drive, and they're like, take a cab. I was like, and the person, what they said, they're like, I have anxiety today. I can't. I was like, we're not going to a club. We're going to get my dick off. Like, this is.
Yeah, if anybody should have anxiety right now.
And and it's funny because, it's so weird. I shouldn't even put this out there. And people said, don't talk about this online because you're going to get known as a split dick guy, but whatever. But actually I read an article where there was like 2 botched circumcisions that happened around the time I did it. And one of the guys killed himself because his dick got so deformed. So I'm really happy I took the time to like find a guy that was a specialist in it. And actually the reason why I chose this guy was because for 4 days I could phone his number at any time and wait, and I wouldn't have to go to the emergency. And actually my stitches did split open, and I was like bleeding everywhere. And the person that bailed on driving me,
did you have to wear a maxi pad?
No, but it was weird because the first day my dick was like round. It was like a tomato, and I couldn't pee for 4 hours, and it's like, that's scary. And like I couldn't get up and move. And it's, if you think about it, it's like a thing that goes all the way around. So it just, there's less surface area, I guess, and it takes longer to heal, and it would be so goddamn itchy. And like my ex-girlfriend was like really hot. I was like, I'm sorry I'm talking like this, but you got to dress down, because I thought I was gonna get like a sedative. I thought I was gonna get a sedative for like I don't know if I've mentioned enough. All my exes are very hot and attractive.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna get a sedative.
We're all in the same.
We're in the same boat. I get it.
Yeah. I thought I was gonna get a sedative to make sure I don't get a boner, and he's like, "Oh, that's not how it works. It's just like you just try your best not to."
They just gave you a picture of Clayton in a bikini. Done.
That would work. Yeah, that would do it.
No, but that was like one of my first experiences where I'm like, the guy that I drove around for 6 months when he had a DUI, he didn't drive me one day to the hospital. He was supposed to bring me for 3 days.
That dude's a real shitty dude, man.
Yeah. So is what it is. And like, so that's actually, I recently had my girlfriend had a knee surgery. My ex-girlfriend had a knee surgery, and like, she was so surprised. Like I took work off, I did everything. And it's like, because it's like, I know how shitty it is, because she couldn't walk or move or do very much because she had a ligament replacement. And I just know how shitty it is to have people bail and not be there for you when you're like so weak and vulnerable, because you feel like a loser. Like, I don't think Uber Eats was in Winnipeg then too. So it's like, I was like, if people weren't bringing me food, I was kind of fucked. Like, cause I didn't stock on groceries because I was told that this person would bring me meals. And the night before they're like, nope, you got to do it yourself. Fuck you.
Oh, wow. Like, did you ever see the movie Hedwig and the Angry Inch?
No.
It's a musical. It's about a dude that gets a botched circumcision and then the Angry Inch. So I'm just bringing that up, not because I want to start calling you Hedwig, but I'm just hoping that your viewers don't start calling you Hedwig, because that would be really rude.
No, but something like, it's such an embarrassing story, but it's like I tell it, and it's as much as I'd like to be like, yeah, I just went to the doctor and he said my dick was way too big and he had to cut it.
Take a couple inches off.
Yeah.
My ex, she was just complaining all the time. So, you know, I just didn't want to hurt her anymore.
You know what? It's funny. When I was in Manitoba, a lot of the girls told me that I was the first uncut guy they saw. And in Quebec, a lot of girls tell me I'm the first cut guy they saw, because here it's not that common. So it's like the best of both worlds. I think I like being cut better. It's a little bit cleaner. I don't know.
Like, I've never had the alternative, but I mean, I always grew up with this. I don't have any traumatic memories that I'm aware of, right? So, I mean, I prefer the way I have. But for my kids, I have, my oldest is circumcised. The other two aren't, just because I didn't see there was any point in doing it.
Yeah. I'm actually trying to more so bring up more taboo subjects, because I noticed like certain things, no one talks about money because it's rude to talk about money. Yet like everyone I know is in a lot of debt. I'm like, well, maybe if we talked about money more when we grew up, we'd be smarter. And I know people going through like porn addiction right now, and that's extremely common amongst men and women now. And it's just like, I think people would rather admit they have a heroin addiction.
Costs money, man.
Well, it's like trying to quit cigarettes and having a pack of cigarettes in your pocket all the time. And everyone has a phase of like going through porn. But in your guys' era, I'm like a little bit younger than you. I was the dial-up era of porn, and then it got to high-speed porn. And in your guys' era was like magazines, right?
We had to go find magazines in the bush somewhere, man. You know,
you had to find you go to the store.
A magazine from an uncle.
Yeah, you had to go to a store, and it's a still image, right? So you have to use your imagination. Yeah. The first thing I ever jerked off to was something on Sex TV, and it was like a thing about like nude artists or something, or nude like live models. And now it's like compilations of like the most extreme. I've like strictly got off porn because it's like, this is addiction.
My phone doesn't understand. Yeah.
Sorry, this is a weird thing.
We just talked about. No, we literally just talked about that on the way out here. We had the exact same conversation.
Well, you start off.
I asked Clayton what's the first thing he jerked off to, and I think he said Sailor Moon cartoons.
Yeah, but like now it's like things get more like the most common thing on Pornhub. Like if you Google it, I don't know if I Googled what's the most common fetish, and it's like stepsister stuff. And it's
I was gonna say, if it's any indication on TikTok, because I scroll through that shit and it's always people like, hey, stepbrother.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, you start off watching vanilla missionary sex, and then 10 years later you're watching a clown cuck your stepsister, and it's just like it's gotten too far. But then it's like, I know it's actually, I'm reading a book. I don't know what it's called, but it's like something about like the addiction of porn and like how bad it messes with your brain. And it's like, it's actually more common that guys fake orgasm because they can't get off. Because it's like you have this intense, like super extreme taboo situations that will never happen in real life. And your brain gets addicted to that. And in this book, I hear horror stories of guys like turning their girlfriends down for sex and going to the washroom and jerking off. It's like,
so that's what I need to do. I need to get some crazy wild fetish so I stop being done in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a good plan, man.
So, well, it's. I thought I'd bring it up and try and like open. I don't know. I'm not
I'll just have to spit on her.
Well, and you know what? This brings up, because we were talking about Mark again. Yeah, we'll throw him under the bus. He's not here.
Yeah.
Remember what he always used to get really excited about?
Oh, we don't gotta
do that, man.
No.
Let's not.
Remember?
Okay, yes. Okay, I thought he was going in another direction.
No, I'm not going there. That's me. I mean, I could, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, well, we're older dudes, like you said. Like, we had the magazine generation. We didn't have the internet, right? Like, Mark used to watch fashion television because you'd get a glimpse of like a nipple every once in a while, and that's what his what his porn was.
And then he would call Nelson up all excited, being like, "Dude, turn it over right now. Put on channel 22."
But now it's like, I've never gotten into the tentacle stuff. But my God, that hentai stuff. And I've talked to people. Like, I'm not gonna ever mention.
You must have watched that shit. Eh?
Oh yeah, no, it's good stuff.
And people have admitted to me, and like people on this forum, like who say they're. And when I talk about me going on this forum, I'm really talking about my friend. None of this shit has anything to do with me. But it's like people trying to get porn out of their life, or at least just like masturbate to their like imagination. I can't even speak. Yeah, it's just because like it gets more and more, and they think of scenarios that they wouldn't. I know of some girls I've talked to, they're like, I'm into like gangbang rape porn. I obviously don't want that to happen to me, but it's just like because you need more and more and more and more, and you need more and more intense stuff. And it's like in this book, it talks about how you lose like attraction to your partner. It makes you more impulsive, and it's like kind of like being addicted to video games too. It's like it's kind of healthy, but I think I was playing Assassin's Creed to try and learn French because I was playing it in French. But there's some days I'd play it like 10 hours in a row, and I'd be like so dopamined out, and it's like I don't want to do the dishes, I don't want to go to the gym, I don't want to do anything, because it's like it's like I can be a fucking pirate on the TV, so why would I want to live real life? So that's why I think
what I hate is that like all the porn nowadays is to do with butt stuff.
Yeah, I get.
They didn't prepare us for that in sex education, man.
Yeah,
we weren't prepared for that shit. There was
stuff
never any talk about ass eating when I was in grade 4 health class. You know what I mean?
don't know what the proper form is. I just try.
Are you supposed to make O's or make A's with your tongue? I don't like.
Yeah. And when you say I just try it, are you eating ass, Clayton? Is that a thing? No judgment. You do you.
Things happen. Let's just put it that way.
I think
my girlfriend is 13 years younger than I am. So
how old are you? You're like 22 or?
Yeah, my girlfriend is 7. In fact, I got to go pick her up from preschool. No, I turned 42 last February.
I always thought of you as like a 25-year-old, but how old are you, Nelson?
I know.
Yeah, I'm 45. People think this fucking asshole's my kid.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? He's 3 years younger. And he's got no teeth anymore. He looks like a fucking old, he looks like a baby-faced old man.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's weird. I think I met you guys when I was 18, and now I'm 20.
I think so, yeah.
So isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel 30 because I go to the gym and I see like 19-year-olds at the gym, like 19-year-old dudes, and then like wearing clothes that I find weird. I'm like, fuck, I hate teenagers. I'm like, oh my God, I'm becoming this fucking guy.
He used to call Mackenzie the syphilis kid.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the story.
We don't need to just let that hang out there.
So it's because I starred in a condom commercial, and at the end of I got gonorrhea, not syphilis, and you guys didn't call me that.
We didn't care. We kept. It's easier to say syphilis kid than gonorrhea kid.
And gonorrhea is treatable. I don't know if syphilis is, but yeah.
Not as much fun.
Not as much fun, man.
Not as much fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember like around the time we met you, I was on a bus somewhere, and I'm like, oh shit, that's Mackenzie, and that's
Yeah, I got recognized for that like 3 times, but then I think it's because people would see that and then they would meet me, and then they would see it again and be like, holy shit, he's that guy. Like it wasn't that. It was a commercial that played before like ever. People think, how much do you think I made for that? Because it played for 4 years, and that the photo of me getting hit with a beach ball that said gonorrhea on fucking huge billboards and bus ads.
You got $500.
Yeah. No, if it was a unionized thing, I would have gotten money every quarter. I think I got like $100 for that. But it was fun, man. It gave me so much confidence because I remember like the day before I was working a restaurant job, and restaurant workers get treated like garbage. And I remember like the owner's son fucking called me like a useless loser and said I would never do anything or something like that. Or he said I was pathetic. And it's like, and then it's like I went and did that where everyone's calling me like beautiful and handsome. And the funny thing about that was they kind of chose on the day who would be the main guy. Oh yeah, and I was really surprised, but I guess I noticed in advertising they always choose average-looking guys. I'm not a 10. I'm like a 6 or a 7. Like if I'm being really honest.
Okay, what do you give Mackenzie?
I give him like 7, 8. Like
that I'd try you a 7 or an 8, dude.
Okay, merci beaucoup. But it's like there was guys there with like super chiseled jaw, and like guys from like Panache, which is model agency in Winnipeg, and like I'm not
the guys that are so attractive, like even if you're not gay, you jerk off over them.
Yeah.
I've seen those guys.
But they chose me over those guys, and I to this day I think it's like because I think average guys are more relatable looking, and like,
that makes
sense. Almost in. Don't like, you
notice? He's too handsome to get gonorrhea. Be on.
Yeah, it's like that guy looks like he has unprotected sex and should wear. No, that was a huge.
That guy gets laid way more often.
That was a huge confidence booster. No, I really like that, and but then it got me into acting, which is like I don't know if I regret that time or not because
you still do any acting, or you're just completely done with that?
Well, again, I guess I kind of went more the path of having a life and working and
making money.
So it's like I work as a grip, which is like being a rich carny, basically. Like it's the same lifestyle. I work like in Winnipeg, and like I find here on big American films, like you'll work 18 hours. I was on Transformers last year, and I'm working like 18 hours a day. It's nuts. It's like, but I find I like smaller Quebec shows, even though it's more French, but then it's more laid back. So I actually have an easier time learning French because American sets are like so high intensity, like Transformers and the X-Men. It's like, and everyone's like feels more insecure because the set is so big, I think, and people are less friendly. I find people in Quebec in film too, they have more fun on set. Like it's a culture. And I find people here are more touchy too. Like I can't tell if I'm getting hit on because everyone's touching my fucking shoulders and hugging me. And it's like my father shook my hand once when I was 18. I don't do this like so I don't do this like I don't know, it's still weird to me. And like before COVID they would do the kiss on both cheeks, and it's like I couldn't do that. I don't know what you like with your kids if you're kissy and cuddly with them, but like I just maybe it's how I was raised, and I maybe it is a good thing that men can show their feelings more, but like it's
my dad was like not huggy, not anything like that until after the divorce, and then he went to therapy and they told him you should probably hug your kids. But then I was old enough that it was kind of weird, like okay, I guess we're doing this now.
Fucking weirdo. No, like I don't think my dad's ever hugged me actually, but no, he shook my hand, which is good enough. But no, my mom was huggy, but
not good enough. You're feeling it inside. Let's get there.
And that is why I did stand-up comedy and pursued acting.
You have to be broken.
No, that is a true statement of fact. I've never met so many like fucked up people than when I got into comedy.
Oh yeah, it's wild, man. Like the funny thing about comedians, man, they're funny, but they're really fucking sad people.
Well, to actor, you do both, Clayton. Like, what's more fucked up, actors or comedians?
Actors are way more insecure.
Yeah.
Like they will openly be like, I don't know if I'm doing good. I don't know. Whereas like a lot of comedians can mask that, but they're also way more broken. Like that's where all that comedy and all that stuff and that openness to share that vulnerability comes from, because they're desperately seeking acceptance,
Yeah, well, I don't know. I've definitely had the odd set bomb, and like it fucking sucks. Like you feel like it's like you just want to hide because you can't redeem yourself till next Wednesday or something. But that pain of like fucking up makes you think a lot. But
yeah, I've heard that bombing is tough for people.
Yeah, that's funny.
Dude, you have a TikTok talking about you bombing.
I did. I bombed one time. I don't know if you don't watch that TikTok shit. I've bombed a couple times, but once really bad where I was doing this tour with I don't know if you know Scott Porteous, with Scott and Chris Basso and this other comic. We went all the way out east and we did a bunch of shows, and I was feeling like a legend because I was like knocking them all out of the park. I was doing great on every single show. I'm like, I'm a pro. I'm ready to do this, right? Yeah. And we get to Nova Scotia, town called Antigonish, and I just fucking bombed hard, man. Like I couldn't get anything going. I tried dirty material, I tried clean material, I tried crowd work. Hated my face, man.
I think the curse is like once you get to, this is what I remember when I started bombing, and then I bombed like 5 times in a row, and I was like, that's it, I'm done. But I think it's like when you think you're good, like you're like too good to bomb. It's like there's that you're supposed to
probably,
but when you get to the point of fuckiness, then it's like you start really fucking up. That's what I found, and I don't know.
I think for me, for this show, I really think it was because it was a small town. It's like all white people in this town, and I'm a brown dude, right? And I see in the audience, we got one black guy, right? So I'm talking with him, and I'm asking him, like, so because at the beginning, I told a couple jokes, and they laughed, right? So I had them at the very beginning because I was hosting the show that night. And I'm talking to this black guy, and I'm like, so is this town, are they pretty racist, or are they okay here, right? And he's like, oh, no, everybody here is great. And he was like a real big, solid dude, right? So I said, well, yeah, of course, look at the size of you, but I bet as soon as you leave the room, they're pretty fucking racist, which I thought was a funny line. But I feel like it was maybe like too close to home for people in the room because that shut everybody down and nobody would laugh at anything I said after that.
Yeah, they're like, don't tell him that.
Yeah.
Or the other fun thing is, like when we've done shows together, Nelson's never really bombed, but he's lost the audience a few times because he's picking on me during his set, and they like me, and they're like, "Hey, don't make fun of that dude."
Yeah,
and they just turn on him, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just remembered. I was like, yeah, Clayton, you did you hosted like a charity event. No, I was talking, my first podcast was with Chris Kilray, and I was talking about how I was a really douchey promoter and I was really good at manipulating people into doing things for free. And I just thought of that. I was like, I got you to do like a 2-hour set for me for free, but it was for charity.
Oh, so yeah, at the pyramid. Yeah, the cancer benefit. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't be that.
That was a really fun night. So I don't think I was like, God damn it, Mackenzie. I was like, I got on stage at the pyramid.
I blurred so many shows together, but isn't that like, didn't the manager try to fight you too that night?
Okay. Oh God. See, I want to bring up the good things in my life and make myself. Yeah. I don't know if I need to mention. I don't need to know. I don't know if I need to mention again. I have some really hot exes. I don't.
I heard that about you. Yeah. You know, for a 6, you do all right.
Yeah, because I can be funny sometimes. The ass eating thing, I guess. See, now I'm saying things that I'm regret saying because I'm like, well, I have a very anti-editing rule. Except, no, I did with Kilray's. I went and cut out a certain word because I'm so afraid of being flagged. So I don't really feel like watching this whole thing, so I'll probably just post it. So I hope I don't say anything.
I don't think this is nearly as bad as our last one, so people should probably check that out if it's.
I might post it, or I'll send it to you and I'll tell you if you.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I haven't seen it for so long. Yeah. Funny.
So yeah, no, I honestly, I missed you guys. Like, this is why I also want to do it, is to catch up. And a lot of people I'm doing this with, I haven't. No, I guess when I moved to Montreal, I wanted like a fresh start and not live my life in Winnipeg as much. So I kind of cut ties with a lot of people. So, but I think I cut ties with you guys way before that because I didn't want to be a loser comedian anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. I think I saw you in like fucking Freshie sometime in Winnipeg at one point, and I was like, oh yeah, that's Mackenzie. I wonder how he's doing.
Yeah, and we didn't talk long because I had to go. But yeah, no, same girl as then, or
yeah.
See, I don't really. The longest I've ever had was 2 years. I don't know how you guys do these very long-term relationships. Maybe I have a lot of self-work to do.
You leave a lot.
It was easier when I was on the road a lot, right? That's what I mean. So if we survive, like if we make it through this whole COVID and education thing, I think it's meant to be. Because prior to that, I was on the road often enough that it was easy, right?
Oh yeah.
It's easy when you see each other.
Well, no, I had a girlfriend where we worked on the same show in the same department. Plus we slept just because it was like the first 6 months. So you're infatuated and like, you're fine with that. But I think it really added to a lot of the arguments. And I think all the things we argued about, we probably wouldn't have argued about. It's just we saw each other that much. And like, But I know a lot of people during the first curfew, they started to hate like the sounds like of chewing of people. And like, I remember me and my ex, I would make fun of how she chew, and then she'd make fun of how I like slurp. And it's like, we were joking, but it did get to a point where we're like, Jesus Christ, like shut the fuck up. And it's just like a lot of couples fought, and a lot of couples, it's really you guys didn't have to experience, not to be like, oh, woe is me, but man, that curfew was tough. Like a 12-hour, like it felt.
We didn't have that curfew shit.
We're still wearing masks here, so.
No, yeah,
pretty rough.
I don't know, man. I feel like we're probably gonna. I don't know. Like maybe we're gonna go back up again. It's hard to say. I feel like at this point we've been given our freedoms. I think people would fight even harder if they tried to take them back and put restrictions in.
Like, well, we're going to go back into another lockdown, I think.
Yeah, I think people are so done with lockdowns. Even like I was in the beginning, I did everything I needed to do. I got my vaccines. I stayed away from people. And now I'm just so sick of being inside. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do that shit again.
Well, like Zoom meetings are fun and all, but like it's cooler to hang out with
people. Yeah, for sure, yeah.
I'd rather, you guys are far, and that's why I like Zoom, because it's like you guys could be anywhere, and you really don't have, it's a bit of a thing to come physically meet, but no, I don't know. And like as much as a lot of people in the beginning, like South Park hit the nail on the head, where a lot of people like were like, oh, there's other people that are having a hard time. Like everyone had a hard time. I've definitely had huge lows during COVID, and I'll admit that, and people should just admit it. Like, no, it was, sometimes we're very shitty, and I love, like, I hate group conversations. I like talking to one or two people at a time, and it's like I would just phone people constantly. It's like boredom and just wanting human connection. And like I had a part, like I feel like people that had a partner through it were lucky, but then it like also probably hurt the relationship too. To be living with
a lot of them did,
but you've got it figured out, so I guess Nelson. So.
Yeah, but you know what? You condense like your relationship, right? Because if you're living a normal life where you're separate, you don't spend that much time together, right? It's going to take you 5 years to realize this is a shitty relationship. It's not going to work, and you've wasted 5 years. So COVID helped those couples condense it all into 5 months, and you're like, yeah, actually, I think you kind of fucking suck. So we can stop this now and not waste all that time together.
Yeah, maybe it sped it up. So I guess so.
One way to look at it.
Yeah. Well, that's I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So anything else you guys want to bring up?
Nah, like okay. I was working for a high-profile Indigenous comedian. I was doing his bookings. He and I are now not working together anymore, going separate ways. It's fine. It is what it is. Shut up, Clayton. Anyway, I'm doing my own thing now. So I started a promotions company. It's warpathpromo.com. And so I am looking to book Indigenous comedians, mostly myself and Clayton, but other people I've met along the way, friends I have across Canada. So I'm just starting to put together the webpage now, and I'm going to look to start doing an email campaign soon to let all these, because I've made so many contacts over the last few years, right? I might as well take advantage of it and try to get new blood out there, get new people booked.
Mm-hmm. Does Jaden Ono still do comedy?
I think she's back into it now.
Yeah, I think I just saw a post from her today talking about she's getting back into it more full time.
Yeah, good for her. Yeah, if you guys talk to her, tell her to come to the podcast. So that's fine, Nelson. You won't book me. I understand. A little racist, but that's okay. Whatever.
We might need a token one day. We might need a token. Yeah. Somebody that's a 6. Yeah. So we'll squeeze you in. Yeah.
No,
you know what? We always like to travel with one white guy though, because if we get lost or go missing, the cops will try to find us. So
that's the thing.
There's hope for you yet.
So look at that. No, I was afraid of. You know, I'm not going to get into this. No, I have a buddy. He always goes down to Mexico, and like there was that hysteria of like they would kidnap Canadians down in Mexico, and I was still like, man, aren't you afraid? He's like, dude, I'm black. Like, shut the fuck up. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. The joke,
I have no issues. I go down to Mexico. They think I'm one of them, man. My concern with going to visit Mexico is trying to come back through the States. They're not going to let me in.
Yeah.
Put me in one of those containment centers.
Yeah, so like, oh yeah, Canadian, sure.
Yeah.
When do you think you'll be in Montreal anytime soon?
The last time we were there was, I think, 3 years ago. And we're planning on, like right now we're both working. It's this project. It's supposed to be temporary. It's on right now until April. It may get renewed for a few months, but after that, we're looking to get back on the road. So we want to go everywhere. And absolutely, man, I'd love to go back to Montreal.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, it's a very beautiful city. There's certain like there's a lot more bureaucracy and like there's more red tape, but no, it's definitely
The bathroom's really nice.
Yeah.
like
most of the adult massage parlors and whatnot.
Yeah, no, that's actually very not taboo here at all. Like you'd be like there was like older conservative women when they found out me and my first relationship ended, they were like handing me cards to like whorehouses, and I thought it was a joke.
Oh yeah.
No, it's just like a thing. It's like normal here, and like it's like it's on billboards and they have websites. It's just very not taboo here. Like it's a different culture. Also, I find they handle alcohol here better, but it's like there's soft alcohol like wine and beer everywhere in convenience stores, grocery stores.
Oh yeah.
But they handle it better. And I think it's in the West, it's very go hard or go home. I'm like, everyone like it's like, you know, you need to have 10 beers. What's this like have a beer and walk home thing? It's like
Yeah. You have 10 beers and then steal some kid's bike, leave it in a fucking BFI bin.
If they catch you, you stab them and then
get away.
Bear mace.
Hey, even though you're not doing comedy anymore, if we were to come to Montreal and do a show out there, would you host it for us if we asked you?
I guess maybe I don't know. See,
Just the MC, that's it. Just go on, introduce us, that kind
it's
of
like
thing.
a contract now. It's like a contract.
I don't know. Like I miss that live thing too, and no, I do. I like talking to people, and that's why I got back into making YouTube videos after I got a bit of a following from the convoy.
Yeah.
But no, I like, you know, I kind of wish I didn't stop, but I felt like I was doing too many things back then, and I kind of want to focus just more on making money and like trying to buy a house and stuff. Even I almost bought a house in Manitoba, but then I moved here, and shit's a little bit
Now
more.
you can't afford to buy one.
Yeah. No. Oh yeah. Then
You bought 2 in Manitoba.
yeah. Well, I was happy that I didn't at first because everything shut down and then I had no income. But then I really kicking myself wishing I did because now the prices like all skyrocketed and
I know it's crazy. See, I'm ready to buy a house and now I'm like, I don't know because the prices are fucking nuts here.
But they might not ever go down.
For Winnipeg prices, and they might never recover, right? That's the thing. Like, when's a good time to buy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know these things and we're all ignorant about this. Yeah. So I don't know. Anything for you, Clayton?
I'm gonna go jerk off. So are we done soon or?
Yeah, I think so. See, I don't even want to end because I've been so needy lately.
Well, you already started jerking off.
Well, I'm warming up, you know.
Well,
they can't see me below this. So.
If you guys have anything to plug, now's the time. And
that's it. Just the www.warpathpromo.com. I got a show coming out on APTN. It's got a terrible title. I think it's still called God Identity.
Yeah.
I didn't get to name it. It wouldn't be called that if it was. So, and that's all I got to promote.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
check out warpathpromo.com.
Okay, so we did hour 39, so I hope it didn't feel too long for you fellas.
No, flew by, man. It's good seeing you again, Mackenzie. We genuinely missed you in Winnipeg. I would love to come out to Montreal and get you to host the show, even if you weren't doing comedy. Just chit chat with the audience.
What do you guys say? What do you guys say when my name comes up in conversation in Winnipeg? Let's be honest here.
Remember the VD guy?
I think I said to Clayton, "Hey, fuck! I heard from Mackenzie the other day," and he's like, "What the fuck is that guy up to?"
Yeah.
About it. No ill will. I don't hang out with anybody else in the scene, so everybody else hates you, but
yeah, because of the whole.
We remember you fondly.
Yeah, no, I
was like, hey, at one point I wanted that guy. He was greasy as fuck, and I still somehow wanted him to like date my daughter. Because we would highly of you, bro.
You would have been the best father-in-law ever, you know. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Anyways, you guys, thank you so much. I did miss you guys genuinely, so. I say that to all my guests, but yeah. So anyways, ciao for now. And I'll let you know when I post it. Thank you guys so much.
Sounds good, man. Take it easy. Good seeing you again.
See ya.